lovelies, it is time for another vlog, so stay tuned. So this might end up being a short vlog, I'm guessing, because it is currently Thursday and I'm only planning on vlogging for this vlog until Sunday. So my last vlog video is my Better Book It video. I'll link it up here if you haven't gone and checked it out. But that went all the way through Monday. And then since then, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I pretty much spent my time editing and going to appointments. Yesterday, when I went to an appointment, I started Bride by Ali Hazelwood, just listening to it while I was on my way there and back. I think I only got to chapter 2 that day. And then today, when I had another appointment, again, I was listening to it while I was out and coming back and everything. And then between breaks, like editing breaks, I would stop and I would just listen to that for a while. And oh my gosh, it is so freaking good. Oh, this book is H-O-T, hot. Hot. Okay, so this is different from Ali Hazelwood's other like STEMinist writing that she did, where this is more fantasy based. It is like werewolves and vampires and all of that. And our main character, Misery, for the first half of her life almost, from the age of 8 to 18, she was, I forget what the word that they used, starts with the C. But anyway, so between the vampires and the humans, they had sort of an alliance where a human child at the age of 8 and a vampire child at the age of 8 that were part of, like, they were important figures, like from important families. Misery is the vampire child of the head of the vampire council. And then we didn't really get any information about the human child that went to live with the vampires. But it's sort of a collateral. That's the word I'm looking for. Collateral for both worlds. So that if something happens, that kid is going to be the first one to go. And Misery, she did her duty. She went. She was a very lonely child living in the human world, and they tried to kill her many times. She did have human protectors, but even the vampires didn't seem to like her because they kind of considered her a traitor because she was living with the humans. But she didn't really have a choice. And her caregivers kind of saw her as being this lonely child and found another orphan her same age that they grew up together pretty much like sisters. And even after they turned 18, once Misery tried to go back to the vampire world, which was not very kind to her at all because they, like I said, treated her like she was a traitor, she decided it would be best for her to continue living in the human world and she could kind of pass for human. She filed down her fangs and had contacts to hide the color of her eyes. And her sister, Serena, knew what she was and everything. So they continued their friendship and lives together as close as two people could be. And then Serena went missing. And this was shortly after her and Misery had a big fight. And this is literally the only person in the world that Misery cares anything at all about. And now there's this new situation come up. They're like 25, 26 years old. And Serena's missing. And the vampires are trying to make an alliance with the Wares. And in order to do that, she's going to be collateral again. She is being forced to marry the alpha of this Were pack. And it was so fun. I loved it. Oh my gosh, I loved it. This might actually be my favorite Ali Hazelwood book I think I've ever read. I mean, I've loved all her other books, but this one, chef's kiss. I cannot wait to read the sequel. It doesn't come out until October though. But yeah, there's a lot of conspiracy stuff, there's mate stuff, there's one-of-a-kind individuals, and then there's Misery, who has never really felt like she belonged anywhere, and she kind of finds her place, and she doesn't have a whole lot of experience with feelings except for Serena. And that's the whole reason she agrees to this marriage, because she found something that said L.E. Moreland on it, and like a piece of paper, and it was dated like from the same date that Serena went missing. And as soon as she found out the name of the alpha wear, Lo Moreland, she agreed, because she knew that if she could get in there, she might be able to find some kind of clue as to where Serena is, what happened to her, whatever. So good. So good. 5 stars. I freaking loved it. Every minute of it. Also, I love the fact, okay, so Allie can really like build up, that tension, and even a non-sex act can be very incredibly sexy. And it was. Also, I love the fact that Misery is a techie girl, and she's into coding and all of that stuff. So even though she did something completely different, Allie Hazelwood did something completely different from her other books, she did keep this little part, and I love that about this book. So yeah, 5 stars. Tomorrow is going to be a big laundry and packing day, because Saturday, Xander and I head out to go to Port Canaveral to hop on another cruise. So I might give a little bit of cruise stuff on this, but probably not a lot, because that's going to be mainly on my other channel, My Grand Adventures. I'll link that up here if you want to go and check that out. And if you haven't already checked that out, please do, because I think it's going to be a really fun channel. I'm going to try to keep most of it separated, but you may see a little bit. And I plan on vlogging this whole month as well. Also, my bingo board is somewhere downstairs, so I can't mark off Bride. Today I did have my favorite iced beverage, which is sweet tea. I got this new Keurig machine. Oh, I'm excited. My Keurig machine is old, the one I had. And it's been through things. It's been broken. It's been super glued. Anytime you make a cup of coffee out of it, you get a bunch of grounds in the coffee. It's not good. So I finally bit the bullet and I bought a new Keurig. And this one makes hot beverages and iced beverages. And so I actually got these Keurig Lipton sweet teas. So good. So good. I'm very happy with it. So yeah, I had my favorite iced beverage, which actually does get me a bingo based on what I did in my Better Book It video. So hopefully we can get a little bit more knocked out. I actually have a book that came in on Libby that didn't end up being part of my TBR, and it's due back in 3 days at this point. So I'm probably going to try to squeeze that in. I don't know if it's going to fit any of the prompts for Spring Into Reading or not. I'll have to look at the board. But I have Just for This Summer by Abby Jimenez. So I'll probably start that tomorrow while I'm like doing laundry and all the things. But I did want to go ahead and get this started. Actually it's already tomorrow because it's after midnight now. But I wanted to go ahead and like share my thoughts with you since I just finished Bride. But I'll be back tomorrow with more. Good morning. So this morning I started out with like sorting laundry. I've got so much laundry to do. And I have Xander bringing down laundry too. So we have a lot of things that need to be washed so that we can start packing because we leave tomorrow. So I looked at my bingo board here, and Bride only did one of the spots since I had other things that replaced Bride. So that was Rewind for reading a book from a past SeasonAthon author, which that gives me 4 here. So I just need Crier's War to finish that. And I do have the 1 bingo since I had my sweet tea yesterday. So I have this one done. And I was looking through the prompts, and even though Just for the Summer was not part of my TBR, I can use it because, see, it has water on the cover. So I'm going to use that for Aquamarine. I also didn't say it in the Better Book It vlog, but I realized that the Lonely Hearts Book Club worked for the Buzzword cover as well because it has books on the cover. So while I'm waiting for this laundry to go before I have to change it out, I thought I would sit here and listen to the book and work on my diamond painting. I'm like almost around halfway. This is what it's looking like right now. Very pretty, very sparkly. Apparently I got stuff on the back. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing for the day, pretty much. I think just laundry, diamond painting, listening to this book, and hopefully I'll get all of the things done, including packing, before the end of the day. Wish me luck. Okay, so it's about 5:15 p.m. and I just finished Just for the Summer. I've also been doing laundry all day, and in between sorting and washing and drying and folding, I have been working on my diamond painting, and here's where I'm at so far. I don't know if I'll finish this today, but I'm making my way through. Okay, so Just for the Summer. This book had a lot more to it than I expected going in. I thought it was just going to be a cute little rom-com, which, I mean, it was, but it was a lot more than that. So our main character, Emma, she's a traveling nurse, and actually, let me say, the book starts out with an Am I the Asshole Reddit thread. And it's Justin talking about how he named his ugly new pet dog, Brad, after his best friend. Or actually, I think in the Reddit thing he said Chad. His best friend who moved out of his apartment early and kind of stuck him with this awful apartment. And he mentioned that the reason why he left is because he found his true love and they were going to get married and all of this other stuff. But initially the girl that he was with Justin. And Justin is essentially considered a good luck charm. Anytime he dates a girl for more than 2 dates, the girl goes on to find her soulmate afterwards. And Emma sees this thread and she's like, oh my gosh, the same thing happens to me. And she's like, I wonder if he's ever been invited to the wedding or to be part of the weddings, because she's been a bridesmaid multiple times because of this. And so she reaches out to him just, as a friendly, oh my gosh, we're the same. And they get to talking and they decide they're going to try to break this curse by dating each other, and then they'll go on to find their soulmates afterwards. And of course, they fall in love and all of that. But there's a lot of drama really with both of them. So Justin's dad died in a car accident. And here in just a couple of weeks, and this is from the beginning, his mom is going to prison. And he's going to be raising his 3 younger siblings that are one's about to turn 5. There's a 12-year-old girl and a 15-year-old boy. And he's stressing out. And Emma has some major stuff with her mom. And she's been in and out of foster care because of her mom. And her mom is just not really a good person. But Emma keeps trying and wanting this connection with her mom. And there was a lot with that. That was a big thing. And then there was a twist that came about 20%, 80% into the book, 20% from the end, that blew my mind. Oh my goodness. I didn't see that coming. And that was a lot. But this book was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. I don't know what I'm going to read next. Let me see. What do I have If I read Crier's War, that will complete another bingo. If I read Spin the Dawn, that would complete another bingo. I think those are the only ones I'm closest to. Actually, no, if I read Unravel the Dust, but I have to read Spin the Dawn first, that would complete another one. I'm pretty sure I have an audiobook of Spin the Dawn because I think I got that like a long time ago, the first time I read it. So I'll have to look and see. I don't know if that was just something I got off of Libby or something else. Also, in my folding of laundry, I'm kind of packing as I go, but I do need to figure out which books I'm going to take with me as well. And also, like, make sure I've got all my audiobooks figured out and everything. Because once you get on the ship, it's not necessarily easy to do. I will have internet on the ship, but audiobooks can be a little wishy-washy. If I have them downloaded to my phone first, it's not a problem. I'm also going to be bringing, like, crafty things with me because I'm not going to be doing the casino like I would normally do, so I gotta have other things to occupy my time. So I'll come back and let you know what I end up deciding to read next and update you on my progress of things. Okay, so instead of going and looking on my computer and seeing if I had Spin the Dawn already, I just looked on Libby and it's available, so I'm going to go ahead and borrow that. And that's going to be the next thing I read. This is a reread for me, but it's been a long time since I've read it. So I'm looking forward to giving it another shot. And I'm going to go listen to that while I fold some laundry. Last night I didn't get any more done on my diamond painting. I got a little bit more. I started Spin the Dawn. I didn't get super far though. Chapter 6, because I was kind of tired of reading. I did as much laundry as I was going to do, and I just kind of chilled for the last like hour before I went to bed. But this morning I have finished my packing and I'm ready to head out. If Xander doesn't like take over the music, I'll just listen to Spin the Dawn, I think, in the car, unless he wants to listen to a book, in which I have to find something that he'd be interested in. I did end up packing 2 physical books. I packed Hollow Fires by Samira Ahmed and Joe and Laurie by Melissa De La Cruz and I think it's Margaret Stoll. So I packed those, and then I've got a few audiobooks loaded up on my phone. So I think I'm ready to go. Now I got to pack up my camera. But I have to film a clip for my other channel. So yesterday, after all that driving, there was so much driving, I was exhausted by the time we got to the hotel, so I didn't update you. So I ended up finishing Spin the Dawn while we were driving, and this was a reread for me. I loved it just as much the second time around as I did the first time, and I'm looking forward to reading the next one, which will hopefully be this month. So I've said before, Spin the Dawn is kind of like Mulan meets Project Runway meets Aladdin, and that is still true. I loved, while listening to it, the little nods to certain things. So like in the beginning, there's a lot of the Mulan kind of nods, in my opinion, where she's cutting her hair and making herself look more like a boy, and her brother, he's teaching her like how to walk and how to talk, and what personality traits she needs to kind of try to hide, and what things she needs to show. Guys are more confident and prideful and things like that, and no blushing, all that stuff. She has 3 brothers. They all went to war, and her mother has passed away. Her father, his health is not great. And in the war, 2 of her brothers die, and one of them comes back, and both of his legs are broken. And he's having to relearn how to walk. And so when they come to get the master tailor, They want her father to go, and if not her father, then her brother. So she knows neither one of them really can do it, and she is the much more skilled tailor. So she does this, and she goes, and there's all these, like, the Project Runway bits where she's in a competition against a bunch of other of the best tailors in the land, and each round they're tasked with some ridiculous something, and then people get eliminated. And some are doing some dirty tricks to try to mess other people up. But there's things like they have to make a jacket out of paper, and they have to make sandals out of different kinds of materials like metal or glass, and then they also have to walk in it, which our main character, she's the only one that can do this easily because, well, she's got girl's feet. But the guys are struggling with it. And then the Aladdin aspect comes later in the story with these trials that she has to go through. She needs to collect certain items because she has to make these 3 dresses, which are like mythical dresses that you need, like the laughter of the sun, the tears of the moon, and the blood of the stars. And people have tried over the years to try to make these dresses, and none have succeeded. And it's said that if one does do this, that Aman will grant a wish, and the goddess Aman, and she'll grant a wish. And things take an interesting turn. Anyway, I'm going to give that one 5 stars. And then I started listening to The Library of Lost Things by Laura Taylor Namey. This book was actually the book that I was planning on using for the buzzword, for the cover challenge, and for the word challenge, because it's got things and there's books on the cover. So I made it 52% of the way through that. In this, our main character is Darcy Falls, and she's like a freaking literary genius. When she reads things, she can remember them and recite them, you know. And some people kind of think of this as like a party trick and stuff, but she's super, super smart. And she is really struggling with things with her mom. So her mom is a hoarder, and it's gotten really, really, really bad. And her grandmother has kind of decided to cut ties. She just can't. And her grandmother keeps trying to convince Darcy to move in with her and get out of that situation. But the grandmother has been kind of helping financially because the mom keeps buying stuff and not necessarily paying bills or buying groceries and things like that. And Darcy's grandmother has told her that when she turns 18, if she doesn't want to move in with her, at that point in time, she's going to be an adult and will have to care for herself, and they will not be providing any more finances. And there's also, like, I think they're coming up on their lease renewal for their apartment in about 3 months. And they're desperately trying to keep the landlord away from the apartment or anybody seen inside the apartment because they'll get kicked out. Their lease won't get renewed. And Darcy's trying to figure out how can she help her mom? How can she get this fixed before that time comes? Also, if she doesn't want to abandon her mom, but she's like, what am I going to do to make up this difference in money and go to school and do all this other stuff? And so she kind of starts a little eBay scheme to try to sell off certain things without being noticed, and hopefully that'll be enough extra income to put food on the table and all that stuff. And another thing she's worried about, she has about 1 month until she turns 18. But until that point, CPS could come and they could take her out of that home. And she doesn't want that to happen. So she's doing everything she can to keep her and her mom together and hide everything. And then there's Asher Fleet. So Asher graduated the year before, and he was in a terrible, terrible car accident, which has caused him all kinds of issues. But the biggest problem for him was that he lost the ability to go to Arlington Naval Academy. And his dad kind of blames him. And he doesn't... One of the things that he's done early on, this is something him and his dad did together, were fly planes. He had his pilot's license before he had a driver's license. And at this point in time, he can't fly. Not for a while anyway, because of the condition that he's in. Because of the condition he's in, he's also not likely to ever be able to fly like commercially and all this other stuff. And so he's kind of struggling with his life, just everything he ever would have wanted to do just being gone. So I don't know how that's going to pan out. But him and Darcy are kind of quickly becoming friends. And I'm curious to see where it's going to go. Sorry, I just had to change my battery out. It was flashing at me. Anyway, we're currently on our cruise ship now. And I haven't read anything else today. Maybe I'll get some read tomorrow. I'm not sure. I have a feeling I'm going to get a good bit done as far as reading goes on this particular cruise ship. Just because I have like creative things that I brought along with me that I can like listen to my audiobook and do stuff. And I brought a couple of physical books. So that'll help as well. But for now, I think I'm just going to wrap this vlog up because it is Sunday night. I'm getting ready to go to bed. Tomorrow we'll be in the Bahamas. Now, I don't know when exactly these travel videos will be up, but if you're interested in my travel vlogs, go check out My Grand Adventures, my other YouTube channel. And that's where I'm putting all of my travel adventures and stuff. And I hope you join it over there too. But for now, this is going to be the end of this vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye!